Hey guys, Max of Max's Models here. I'm outside the Tarbis, kind of calling it quits for the day. Didn't get a whole lot done because I was dealing with white paint, and I had to run up to Hurricane Hobbies and get some more. Well, the short story is the underside of the F100 and the Moonliner were the two things that I had planned to paint today, and I did. But the white paint, I got matte, I got gloss. They were out of white primer, which I had used on some of them. And you know, you have to put it on in thin coats and let it build up over time. But no, sometimes, I mean, I gave the can a good shake with the gloss, put it right on top of gray primer, and it fish-eyed, so that had to come off. And it took a lot of playing with, and thin coats, thin coats, thin coats, and it started to look okay, the F100 especially. And it actually had white primer on it. But I was using a flat on the F100, and that worked a lot better than the gloss. But the gloss on the Moonliner was just, you know, it was running real easy. It was just, I guess I didn't put on thin enough. Finally, I decided, and this happens, you putty and glue something together, and then when you start manipulating, it cracks right down the seam line, cracking the putty in half. So I had to re-glue that. Let that harden. Then you hit it with the paint, and the seam really shows. So I decided to just go ahead and really thick paint it. I'm trying something I've done before where you kind of use you put so much paint on it starts to run, but you kind of guide the run so that it fills in the seams. I know using paint, it's a bad idea. But I know tomorrow I'm going to just give this all overnight to harden, and I'm going to sand it all back down, make sure everything's glued in tight, and quasi start over. So they were out of white primer at the Hurricane Hobby, so I've got gray primer, but well, you know, it's funny, the simple kit's the one that's giving me all the grief. Maybe the old styrene, I don't know. No, it can't be the styrene because it was reacting to the primer, and they're both Tamiya products, so that shouldn't be it. So, you know, if push comes to shove, I'll get out the airbrush and do it that way. But I think it's just the lacquer is so thin, and despite being well shaken, the gloss is, I think, a little thinner, a little more prone to run than the matte. Just didn't take much. So, you know, live and learn. And the fact that I was putting it over gray primer, probably put it on a little too much, a little too fast. But I'll sand it out tomorrow, get it working. Just if I can empty the can on this thing too. But that's the way it goes. So those are really, I'm just going to have to stop here and let it harden overnight. And I had a lot to do today, so I kind of busted my mojo. So time to put it in and go make a video. Take care, guys. We'll talk to you later. And as always, model on.